What it do, Dream Team? It's your boy Neal back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are with how are German kids different than American kids? Are the parents different? Parents are 100% different, and that's why the kids are different. But we're finna go ahead and jump into this and see what our YouTuber, Miss Haley Alexis, has to say. I love her videos. But before we dive in, make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell, give the video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. Social media and Patreon, all up top. You can subscribe to any of it. Put all the links in the description. All you gotta do is hit the link, follow me, talk to me. Shoot me. I'll talk back. If you got a favorite video suggestion, you can subscribe to Patreon or drop it in the comment section. What we got, Haley?
Hi everyone, what is up? My name is Haley. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you did not know, now you do. Hey you guys, what's up? So in today's video, y'all, I'm going to be talking about how kids are different in Germany and how parenting is different in Germany. I feel like these are two different topics, but they sort of like mesh together. And yeah, these are just things that I have observed. I'm not a parent. I don't have kids, so I don't have like personal experience, but I have personal observation experience because I have worked in kindergartens. I've been around a lot of children and a lot of different families and a lot of different parents. So with all that being said, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. The lady that I worked for, she said, "Hey Haley, I'm going to get coffee with my friend. Would you like to come with?" And her friend just had a baby and she showed up with her little stroller with her little baby sleeping in the stroller. And I was like, "Oh, how cute. No, it's so cute that you're bringing the baby to the cafe to get some coffee and kuchen." And the baby was knocked out, you guys. This baby was in la la land. And the woman, she just leaves and goes in the cafe. And I'm just like, okay, did the lady that I work for literally bring me here to watch someone else's kid? Like, I was like, they really want me to stand out here in the cold, in the winter, next to the stroller while they go inside and drink coffee. I'm like, that's really rude. The lady knocked on the window and was like, "Come inside." And I was like, and she's looking at me like, what the hell am I pointing at? And I'm like, doing the motion of picking up the baby, and she's like, and I'm like, and she's like, "No." And then she comes out and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "What are you doing leaving your baby on the street?" And she's like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? What do you mean? Someone could grab this little baby. It's just laying here. Strangers walking past. This is a busy road. Someone snatch your baby up, snatching, hide your kids, hide your wife, because they're snatching every baby out here in Germany." She's like looking at the lady that I worked for like, "You brought this woman with you to this coffee shop and she's talking about my baby getting kidnapped?" It happened often. I will not say all the time and that everyone did it, but it wasn't uncommon to see a random stroller with a random baby in it on the side of like.
Said I forgot to mention that the lady was sitting in front of the window and her baby was directly on the other side and she could see the baby clearly.
Common to see a random stroller with a random baby in it on the side of like the sidewalk or the road somewhere, or you know, in front of a store. And the reasoning behind this, she told me, I mean, this was her reason. I don't know if this is the real reason why people do it, but she said that it took her so long to wrap the baby in all of its like winter clothes, and so when the baby slept, you know, it got fresh air, it was cool to him, like the temperature outside was cool, but his body temperature underneath everything is relatively warm, and he sleeps the best this way. And so it's better to just leave him there than take him out, wake him up most likely, take off all of his clothes, and then have to re-put them on, redress him when they leave the cafe. And so I thought that was very interesting. This is something.
Said I was trying to figure out why this might be and started looking up numbers for kidnapping in the USA versus Germany. And the rate for kidnapping is higher than the USA compared to Germany. Germany's kidnapping rate isn't non-existent, so I still have questions, but I think this might be one of the biggest reasons why people are more likely to do this in Germany than the USA out in public. Yeah, that's that has to definitely be the reason, because yeah, in the USA, you're scared. You're scared. I don't know, to leave your baby anywhere. You're freaking 6, 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, like. You don't want them leaving your eyesight. You're like, where are they at? Got to make sure I can put an eye on it. Got to make sure. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I feel like there's just so much negativity in the news, and you see all this news about kidnapping. You see all these news about kids getting hurt because like nobody was watching out for them, and so that scares you. It's like, hey, like, You always want to keep an eye on your kid, but I understand the difference. And she explained it perfectly. Like in Germany, she's like, the baby's wrapped up. He's got fresh air. He's warm. He's warm inside all those clothes. He's warm because she's wrapped him up in his winter clothes and everything. And she was like, he sleeps best this way. And she's on the other side of the window where she can directly see her baby. So I definitely understand that. But yeah, in the USA, that would almost never happen. That I wouldn't even say almost. I would say never.
Put them on, redress him when they leave the cafe. And so I thought that was very interesting. This is something that happens all over Europe. I know that a lot of people, or some people, do this in the United States in their like the privacy of their home. It doesn't necessarily happen in Florida, because if you leave your baby outside in Florida, it will die. The next point is going to be something that is a hit and a miss. I know that some people, like Germans, are going to disagree with me, but I've seen this a handful of times here. And it is that people will bring their children to bars. And I think it's because the bar culture in Germany is different, and also the alcohol culture is different here as well. And so when I compare it to the United States, where I used to work, I've worked in I think like 3 or 4 different restaurants, and all of those, I think 3 out of 4 of them, had bars, meaning you could sit at the bar and drink alcohol, or you could sit in the bar area, which wasn't directly like chairs around a bar, but there were maybe tables or booths surrounding the bar. And some restaurants that I worked at wouldn't even let people with kids sit there. There are some restaurants that I have been to in the United States that allow children to sit there, but the ones that I worked at wasn't allowed unless they were 18 or older. But if you came with your baby and you like wanted to sit at the bar or near the bar, we usually, our hostesses would have to say, sorry, we're not allowed to seat you there. And so when I came to Germany and I just saw kids, you know, openly around alcohol in public at restaurants, at bars, I was shocked.
She said, oh, I'll read it.
Openly around.
I'm not talking about bars that are solely for drinking, but bars in restaurants.
Alcohol in public at restaurants, at bars. I was shocked, a little judgmental, because I'm like, what are y'all doing with your kids? Like, around alcohol and bringing them to the bar like this. It's totally chill in Germany and relax when it comes to kids and alcohol. Also because the drinking age is 16 here, depending on what you're drinking, and in the United States, it's 21. And I always find this to be so crazy when I see little children, literally 16-year-olds, drinking beer, and I'm like, are you allowed to do that? And then in the United States, I get carded if I want to buy one little beer can at the grocery store or something, or at the gas station. And I also think that in Germany, they like to...
This is also, German parents have less worries about getting into trouble for everything, for every tiny mistake they might make with their children. They have more responsibility and say so in their child's life, and less fear. There's historical reasoning in the USA for child protective services is a huge fear for a lot of parents, big time. These graphs are just a quick comparison. I'm not sure if y'all can see them, but they're just basically comparing Germany and the USA.
Expose children at an early age to like the real world. Like everyone, not everyone, but a big majority of people are drinking. They may not be alcoholics, but they are consuming alcohol. And you're going to come into contact with this regardless if you do drink alcohol or don't drink alcohol. And I never understand now, since living in Germany, the big hush regarding alcohol in the United States. It's a little weird in my opinion, because we talked about this before. You can buy guns at 18, you can go fight in the military, you know, give up your life. But as soon as you want to buy one little beer and you're 20 years old, go to jail. The next point is going to be eating vegetables, you know, free.
Nah. That's where, I'm not rocking with no veggies. I'm a grown man, and don't put no veggies in my face, because I'm not rocking with it. I'm not eating it. You feel me? But, it is crazy just to see the differences between the two countries, where it's like, you a 16-year-old drinking alcohol over here is wild. Like, you got to be at like a party with no parents and no adults around, but they just chilling in a bar drinking beer. That's a humongous difference. And I feel like once you come to when it's new, you're like, what's going on? I don't know about how it is. But then once you start understanding the culture more, you start understanding everything, you're like, oh, okay, just do things differently. But keep it rolling.
The next point is going to be eating vegetables, you know, free will, not being forced. Yeah, one thing that shocked me, which is a little like going off of this point, when I came to Germany and I started eating food, like not eating foods, when I started going to restaurants and stuff and like just trying out different types of restaurants and getting vegetables that were uncommon, let's say, because you go to the United States, you eat at a restaurant, you're gonna have like a vegetable medley of broccoli, squash, carrots, throw in a zucchini, you know, asparagus is big, cauliflower is big, very basic vegetables, you know, throwing a corn on the cob there as well. And some areas, you know, you have more so than other, like in Florida, we have okra, but we fry it. And I feel like all of our vegetables, we fry, we deep fry. We have deep fried green beans, we have deep fried cauliflower, we have deep fried corn, we have deep fried everything. So that's not really healthy. I'm talking about a raw vegetable or fruit, literally eating that by itself. And so when I came to Germany, there was this little kid that I used to watch like randomly on the weekends. His mom would want to go out and she'd be like, could you come watch my son? I'd be like, fine, no big deal. So one day she called me, hey Haley, come over. And then she's like, you know what? I have everything in the fridge. You know, I have frozen pizza. I made like spaghetti the other day. I made all of this stuff. Just ask him what he wants to eat and then, you know, make something. I love parents like this because I'm like, so you don't mind if I give your kid a frozen pizza, we eat ice cream, cookies, and chips, and, you know, watch a movie, and that's okay with you? So I go to the little kid all excited. I'm like, hey, your mom told me that we have frozen pizza. And he's like looking at me, and he's like, yeah, I think I want like a Butterbrot, a butter bread with radishes. And I looked, and I was like, excuse me? Your mom said you have frozen pizza and cookies. He's like, no, maybe some cucumbers too. And I'm like, sir, we have everything available here. I can literally call McDonald's and have them delivered, call Burger King and they can deliver a Whopper and fried onion rings to our doorstep right now. This little boy would not budge, you guys. So what did I do? I went to the kitchen and I cut up some radishes and I put it on some Butterbrot. And so the next point is going to be outside activities, and I don't really know.
Yeah, y'all kids different. It's the reason why y'all in more shape. Why we more obese over here. It's just, I would have been like, as a kid, hit up McDonald's, tell them give me that Big Mac. I want a double quarter pounder. Go ahead, throw that frozen pizza in there. Vegetables. Hey, take all the vegetables off that burger. I don't want no veggies on that burger. No pizza. Yeah, that's in the freezer. Okay, ice cream, soda. We got the soda, right? Yeah, that y'all kids different. Y'all kids different. Keep it going.
Some Butterbrot. And so the next point is going to be outside activities, and I don't really know how to go over this properly, but in Germany, when you do an activity for, let's say, daycare or school, a lot of times it is outsourced to a different location. And I don't know the reason why. I'm assuming it's because of how small Germany is, so their schools aren't as massive and as huge as like stuff in the United States, so they don't have the ability to offer everything in-house. I used to work at a kindergarten, a daycare that was only 3 rooms. That was it. And there were like a lot of kids, and everything that we did, we usually had to go outside somewhere else to do. We didn't have a pool, we didn't have a playground, we didn't have anything at the daycare except for like books and toys and a little mini kitchen to make stuff in. That was it. And I also worked at daycares in Germany that offered everything available to mankind. You know, 3-story, 4-story buildings, they have a whole bunch of kids, they have their own playground, but still, even then, you had to go somewhere else to do other things, or they would tell someone else to come. They would outsource it in the sense that they would hire someone to come and do, let's say, yoga, instruments. I don't know what else there is that people outsourced or got people to come in to do. And it's not random to see groups of children just walking in the woods, walking on the side of the street, taking public transportation, just out and about in the real world, which is something that is not common in the United States at all, unless you're going on a field trip. But it's like not where you would say every day we're going to go outside of our daycare, or every day we're taking a trip 1 mile away or walking 1 mile down the street to go do something. That's just something that does not happen in the United States.
Yeah, that almost never happened. I completely agree with all her points right now. Completely, yeah.
Mile down the
That's
street
crazy.
to go do something. That's just something that does not happen in the United States. The last and final point, you guys, is going to be a big point, and this is going to be something that, I do this to myself, you guys, when I talk about these topics. But in Germany, the kids learn about their history, an in-depth history, a gruesome history, a dark history, something that I've never experienced in the United States. And so I remember when I first got here to Munich, I took a trip by myself to Dachau. I don't know why, you guys. I just wanted to go to a concentration camp because I was like, I'm in Germany. This is like what I've been taught in school. I'm literally a train ride away, less than an hour away. Let me just go one day. And so I went by myself to Dachau. And to my surprise, I saw multiple groups, like school groups of kids aged, I would say maybe 14 to 16, 17, give or take. Okay. I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, are we just gonna allow kids to walk through concentration camps like this? Like, is this normal? I don't know. This is not normal in the United States. We don't walk through plantation homes in Florida.
I've never been to a plantation home in my life. That's facts. That's fact. But I think it's cool that they do get an in-depth perspective of history, and they do get to learn all these things that happen. I think you should teach kids that kind of history.
Normal? I don't know. This is not normal in the United States. We don't walk through plantation homes in Florida.
Never.
Especially where I lived. We had plantation homes. We had plantations. Wow. We had sugarcane fields that were operated by slaves. We never ever took a trip there. Never once in my life did I even know until like I think high school or college did I find out that we had all of these places so close to where I went to school.
I feel like the backlash from parents is the reason. In America, I feel like if you would have had parents calling the school like, you took my baby to a plantation, like, are you serious? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like the backlash would have probably been too much, unless they were handed out permission slips to get signed and everything. So if they handed out permission slips, parents signed them, then it could possibly happen. But for the school to do it on its own, never.
That we had all of these places so close to where I went to school. And I think this is an amazing thing that Germany does. I think that this should happen in the United States as well. I know in some places they do put more emphasis on our history and the dark parts of our history, but in modern day, the United States right now, we're trying to get rid, or sugarcoat the things and make it seem like everything was rainbows and sunshine and everyone got along and there were no slaves. They were people that made a minimum wage, and we try to like cover things up instead of actually saying, we effed up, we did this, we did that, it wasn't good, we killed a bunch of people, we harmed a bunch of people, we created a lot of problems, by doing this, and here it is. But we don't do that. And so when I think back of my upbringing and my education, and I know that there are going to be a lot of Americans that say, well, that's just you, and that's not representative of the United States, and that's not my upbringing. Perfectly fine. Make your own video talking about your upbringing. But for me, I knew more, or I was like told more about Nazi Germany.
This is a lot, but I got y'all's back. Shoot.
Than the history of Florida and like plantations. And
to put it into perspective, I went to New York for a high school trip, and a full day was dedicated to the Holocaust. We did not visit any memorial or museum dedicated to slavery, segregation in the USA, and there are plenty of places in New York. New York has the largest unearthed burial ground in North America for both free and enslaved African descendants. This is interesting for me retrospectively since living in Germany because of how I've observed Germans dealing with their past. Learning is fundamental in growth and progression, but only if you are able to fully accept and embrace your past, which is something the USA hasn't really done regarding slavery. Germany have spent decades trying to learn, grow, and process guilt from this time. They learn about it, they teach the topic everywhere, they speak out and condemn certain behavior, they implement laws, they have monuments, museums, memorials, and the list goes on of things they actively do. In the USA, we do not focus enough of our attention on our our own dark history past that has shaped us into the country we are today. We shy away from the truth and beat around the bush regarding how brutal, horrible, sad, and disgusting our own history was, which only causes more issues later in life. When talking about Germany's past in the USA, if we talked about their atrocities, but also focused on how they have moved on and processed their past, we would have a more encompassing view of Germany and its history. History is not rainbows and marshmallows. It is dark and sad, but it can be a great teaching, learning moment if it is taught in a real, encompassing, educational manner. Hot cherry picking certain elements. Not cherry picking certain elements.
Nazi Germany than the history of Florida and like plantations and slavery and just everything that happened in my own state, in my own backyard, like literally a hop, skip, and a rock throw away. I learned more about something that was 5,000 plus miles away than learning something that was 5 miles away. Like I said, they did teach me about slavery, but if they would have made me go up, take my happy ass to a plantation home, or show me certain fields, or show me all types of other things, a museum for all I know, if they would have done this for me at a young age, it would have made such a big impact on me, and it would make me care about these issues more, or it would have made me care more about these issues growing up. But yeah, you guys, that was it. That's the end of the video. That's how I think German kids are different, or German parenting is different than American parenting and American kids. I hope you guys got a few laughs out of this video. I know some topics are more serious than others, but like I said, we're trying to, sprinkle in a little bit of lightheartedness and humor. So with all that being said, love you guys. Have a wonderful day, and bye.
She does a great job sprinkling in that lightheartedness and humor, and she does a great job making valid points. I absolutely love watching the videos. But that's all we got for this one. You guys got a favorite video suggestion, you can subscribe to Patreon or drop it in the comment section. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. Social media and Patreon all up top. You want to subscribe to any of it, put all the links in the description. All you got to do is hit the link, follow me, talk to me. I love talking to you guys. You guys are the most incredible team on YouTube. It's your boy Neal. Out.